Hi, I'm Mark,
I'm Katie.
and we are the parents of a little boy with spina bifida. And we thought it would be helpful to share some of our story from when we learned about his diagnosis through his birth and a variety of challenges and things that happened along the way up to now, where he's about 4.5 years old. He's made a lot of progress and he's an amazing little boy, and we're so thankful for him. But there was a time where we had no idea what we were in for. And for those parents who are experiencing the same things, we thought a series of videos about this might be helpful. So here's the beginning of our story. So for us, the story really began in December of 2019 when we went in for the 20-week ultrasound, and we expected it to be like it had been the time before with our first son. We were just excited to find out the gender. That's the big thing. And then
I wanted a girl.
and I was happy with another boy if we got one, but we were excited to find out. And
I had a name for a girl. We didn't have a name for a boy yet.
True. Well, as we'll tell, things did not go as planned.
We went in, and I don't know what you remember a lot about that, but do your ultrasound, and they're telling you about parts. You know, this is the leg, this is the arm, this is all this stuff. And at first she was really chatty with us, and then she kind of got quiet. So she finishes and she says, the doctor's going to come in. And we had just found out that it was a boy. So I was like, ugh, it's another boy. And I was like, we're going to have to think of a name now. So then she had left. I remember saying to you that I was surprised that she was getting the doctor. Like, that hadn't happened the first time. So then the doctor came in and told us that our boy had spina bifida. And I knew about it because I had a classmate growing up who had spina bifida. Did you know anything about it?
I did not. It was something I'd heard of, but I did not know what it was or how it could affect somebody.
And that classmate could walk. So, that's great. But it's a very diverse disease. Like, it affects people very differently. And there's a whole range of abilities that people with spina bifida can do. So, but it was a shock, and I was very emotional. He had to do the ultrasound again and was kind of showing us like where, and he didn't know as much as we needed to know, or he just was like, this is like the initial, so you'll need to go to U of M and get further testing. And I was devastated. I immediately was like, we can't do this. Our family, it's going to be me and you and our two boys. And I didn't want a diagnosis. I didn't want it not to be a perfect little family. It was not what I had envisioned. We left, called my mom, and
in the hallway outside the office. Couldn't even get to the car before we headed.
I couldn't get it out. And I didn't want to say it to her on the phone. So I couldn't even get out anything. And
I think I had to say it.
No, you didn't even say it yet. No, you said, we need to meet you at Wendy's. Or we need to meet you. And we chose to meet at Wendy's. So we needed to meet right that night. Because it was a late ultrasound. So it was like...
Mm-hmm. End of the day.
Night.
Yeah.
So we went and picked up our son from the babysitters and met my parents. We told them. My mom was very positive. So she was like, yeah, it's okay. It's all right. And she
was crying with you, but she was also saying, it's going to be all right. We can do this.
Right.
We've got a lot of people who will support you and help you. At the time, we lived 40 minutes from her parents from my parents and about an hour from hers. So we also felt very alone that we were just not close to our family, either one of our families.
We're close to medical stuff.
Geographically, yeah, we were quite a ways from U of M where we were going to need to go. And at that point, all you have is a diagnosis. You don't know anything else. So everything is a mystery. Everything is scary. And that was really hard because they're like, well, we can help you. I'm like, yeah, but you're an hour away from us. How much help can you be?
And you like go to the way future, right? So like well, what if he can't walk? And then we need a wheelchair, and our house it doesn't work for a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
And then what about for toileting and a van and all that stuff, right? You go like to the bank.
You get overwhelmed by all of the unknowns all at once.
And I was very negative. We can't do this. I don't want this. I was very depressed. I took off of work. We did an amniocentesis the next day to see like if this was a gene or all like the specific things. And I know like there are risks with amniocentesis. A lot of people don't do it. I don't think we did it with Paxton, our first, because of those risks. And I think I said, if something's wrong with him, we don't have to do it, because if something's wrong, we would love him and keep him anyway, which is interesting. Everything was fine with Paxton, and I was like, oh yeah, if something's wrong, I'll be totally fine. And then we knew something was wrong with Finn, and I was like, I don't care about, we have to do the amniocentesis, and if we lose him, I guess we lose him. Like I was like in that mindset of, well, whatever. I didn't feel connected to him at all. It was a diagnosis at that point. Like I was like, this thing with Spina Bifida, this is going to ruin our life. And you said right away, I think we need to name him to make him our baby, our son, and not just a diagnosis. And so we picked Finley.
That was while we were still in the office. The ultrasound that came pretty quickly. The doctor had left, and we were just talking for a few minutes. He gave us some time. And I don't remember if it was the name we had discussed. I don't remember how we came up with it, but we settled on one very quickly because we said, okay, this has to be more than a diagnosis. This has to be our child. We have to talk about him as a person, because that's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
And
but I still struggled.
Absolutely. But
I didn't feel connected at all. And moms are supposed to feel connected, So I was struggling. January is when we went to Mott, and they did an ultrasound first to get more.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked to a lady who was very nice. I, again, was asking other questions about, well, what if we don't go through the pregnancy? Because they had at the previous doctor, they had said a lot of people abort. And so that was definitely an option that they gave to us. And so I was very and Mark from the get-go was like, no, we're not aborting. We are Christians. We do not believe that. We believe that a baby is a baby from conception, which I believe too. I couldn't believe I was having these thoughts and feelings. I really couldn't, but I was like, my life is over. I thought it was my fault that he had it. I had a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. And I was like, if he is disabled his entire life, he's going to blame me. He's going to hate me. He's not going to be happy. I shouldn't do that to him. So I was I was being selfish. But I was really talk to me more about that and the process of that, because I want to know. One good thing that the doctor said to us was, whatever you do, you need to be on the same page, because it's very hard to have a disabled child, and it's very hard to be okay after an abortion sometimes. So you have to just be okay, because if you do one thing and the other person's not okay with it, it's going to ruin you, which is a very good advice.
I firmly believe that I did not want for us to abort this child, but I understood why Katie would struggle with that. The mom's role is very different from the dad's. I wanted to be understanding because of my faith. I knew what I believed was the right choice. And we share our faith, but I knew it was personal in a different way for Katie. I hoped that we would end up on the same page. And we did, eventually.
Well, because I said, all right, what's the process of if we decide to get rid of our baby? And so if we get rid of it, then, we go that route. And they said, well, we'll have to stop the heartbeat, and then you'll have to deliver. And that I was like, absolutely not. I cannot deliver a dead child.
Not by choice.
No, I know that happens, and that's horrific. And I couldn't do that. So then we were on the same page, and it was still extremely scary. Everything was super hard, and my pregnancy was not what I would have liked it to be. I immediately got on a bunch of Facebook groups, which was so great. There are so many wonderful moms out there and dads out there even who have been through this, and they don't have exactly the same experience as you because everyone's different, but they know a lot of stuff. And so I immediately got in touch with them and asked all these questions and poured out my heart, and they helped out a lot.
It's clear, as she mentioned, the guilt and blaming yourself with this diagnosis. And that's one of the first things that I think gets covered, is that it seems like every mom goes through that phase of feeling the baby's growing inside them. So somehow anything that goes wrong is their fault. And with spina bifida, certainly, the medical community says that is just not true. They do not understand exactly why spina bifida develops. They know how, they know kind of when, they know some things that can help decrease the odds of it, but they don't know why it happens. But so far, medicine has no reason to believe the mom did anything that caused it. And there should be no shame in it because of that.
Mm-hmm. They say like not enough folic acid, which is like, I didn't take enough folic acid and I was overweight and I have gestational diabetes and all this stuff that I was like, it's my fault, it's my fault. The one thing that someone said, I don't remember if it was a post, my post or just a post, but they said, I was the epitome of health and it happened to me. And so I was like, okay, if somebody did everything right and it happened, I cannot take that then. Like, I have to just let it go. I do not know why it happened. God's in control. And I have to just be okay with it. From that time on, it was still hard. I mean, I was still like, he had hydrocephalus. And then we knew that while I was pregnant. And so I was freaking out about that. And everyone said to me in the group chats too, like, enjoy your pregnancy, just enjoy it. And I couldn't do it. I was very weepy all the time and still depressed.
Yeah,
and
it was a tough one.
Yeah.
But I think that is about where we're going to wrap it up for this video. There are a lot of things that happen along the way after this, and we hope to cover that in some future videos. As this was our first story along the way, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will maybe like and subscribe and be able to catch future videos.
And I want you to know, this is the end of this video, but you haven't seen Finn yet. And, well, some of you might have who are watching this, but we love Finn so much. And he's amazing, and we would never trade him for anything. So even with all of that, of all of, like, not wanting him and stuff, I mean, he was born, and I felt totally different. And immediately loved him and continue to every single day. I can't imagine life without him.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, life with any child with special needs is not an easy one, but children are amazing. Ours certainly is, and it's been worth it, but it's been hard. So we look forward to sharing a little bit of Finn and his personality sometime in the future as well. So for now, thank you. So just remember, anything that we've talked about in this video is not medical advice. Consult medical professionals for any real advice before you take any steps at all. Thank you.